That's right. Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And Jacob Weil.
And oh my god, boys and girls, wouldn't you know it? Papa Iger has brought us an early Christmas present. We have not one but two trailers to go over today. Indiana Jones and The Dial of Destiny and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Oh yeah, one I am very, very excited and nervous. One I am very, very excited and stoked about and have all the confidence in the world in. And the other one is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
No, it's not.
So, all right, how are we all feeling about this? I gotta say, the Guardians trailer is freaking perfect. It's impeccable. I am absolutely sure that it's gonna knock it out of the park. I mean, it looks incredible. Those colors, man. Indy, not so. I don't know. I'm not sure how I'm feeling about the Indy trailer.
No.
Yeah. There's a couple big red flags for me.
And there isn't.
One element in particular that I'm not totally down for. The only thing I'm worried about is the de-aging stuff. I just don't want to get too into the de-aging stuff. That is like my one big concern that I have with this movie. Jacob, I'm sorry. I'm just voicing my.
I mean, considering it's only in like the beginning of the movie.
If it's only in the beginning of the movie, that's fine. Do we know that it's only in the beginning?
Tiki
Paralyzed is based off one trailer, mind you. But based on the trailer, it seems very much like it'll be a contextual flashback to when he and Mads Mikkelsen and company are probably younger. So that's probably what that's
okay. That's fine if that's the case. And don't get me wrong, I want that to be the case. And if that's the case, that's fine. What I'm worried about is I just don't want there to be because it just seemed like we were seeing like all kinds of different time periods. And so essentially what I'm worried about, the one thing that I'm worried about with this movie is I don't want it to just be like essentially having old Indy as a framing device to look back with Saul and be like, remember all our old adventures.
It's not the adventures of young Indiana Jones.
I think it was more like a globe-trotting affair, Tiki. I don't think it was necessarily jumping in time, but I could be wrong. It's just a trailer, so I don't think we know. I think predominantly we're set in the 60s.
Yep.
So that is the one concern I do have. But having said that, I mean, I will say let's just jump into it. I do really, I like the direction we're going in with it. I'm not exactly sure that we need the daughter character per se.
Goddaughter.
I would bet legitimate money that she turns out to be his actual daughter.
I'll bet you she's Marcus Brody's daughter. I'm pretty sure how that.
That makes sense. I'm sorry, that makes sense now that you put it like that. I'm sorry.
Plus, I don't think they want to risk another Mutt Williams. I don't think they want.
Can you guys tell that I'm kind of like still traumatized by Kingdom of the Crystal Skull?
No. Get out of here.
Anyways,
no.
I'm just like, I want to be excited about this, but Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is a thing that exists.
Yeah, it's better than everybody gives it credit for.
It is, but the third act is iffy. You gotta admit
it's decent. I mean, I actually really do like the first act of that movie.
Act 1 of Crystal Skull really that does get a lot of unnecessary. Act 1, I think, is really solid on Crystal Skull.
I actually legitimately don't mind Mutt Williams as a character. I think that's Dragon. I think we went over this in our Spielberg month commentary. Like conceptually, I don't mind the concept of him. Anyways, so how y'all feeling about these trailers?
I mean, I guess we can give our thoughts on them. Personally, I'm really excited for both of these. I mean, I don't really have any issues with either one. You get to see the classic great adventure with Indy, and of course he gets the fantastical space opera with the Guardians. It's like two opposite ends of the spectrum, the same day. Both will basically, and especially the thing with Indy. I mean, like he doesn't really tell you much about what's going to happen; just gives you some snippets of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like it leaves a lot to the imagination and to figure out what exactly is going to happen.
Okay, so with that in mind, Dragon, I'm sorry, how do you feel about this?
Well, yeah, it was quite the eventful day. Just not just Indiana Jones just kind of dropping on us in the middle of nowhere, but like, oh my God, it's Indy and the Guardians trailer, man. Yeah, Iger. Yeah, look, that, obviously, as Jacob has kind of like mentioned, yeah, obviously, this is probably just these were in the works. We were eventually going to see these trailers, especially with Avatar around the corner. Most likely,
I am convinced that this is a Papa Iger Christmas gift, though. I really am.
Let me put it this way. Okay, with Avatar around the corner, we were bound to get at least one
right,
of these.
right, yeah.
Now to be, and obviously Guardians of Christmas, yes.
I can probably safely confirm that Iger had nothing to do with this.
But that's what I'm saying. Think about this though, Jacob. Is that on the side of logic to support you, you could easily say, well, again, Avatar around the corner, you have Indy being kind of a lock, and then with the Guardians Christmas holiday, especially going over so well, makes sense the Guardians 3 would probably be in tow as well. So that's probably the actual reason for it. But you got to admit, though, it does feel kind of like a really good PR move. Like, oh, we made the transition to power, and we're trying to get some good buzzy going as people are maybe kind of like, hey, Iger's back. Let's kind of lead the charge with some merriment. What's more merry than Indiana Jones and everyone's favorite, especially after recent events, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And I think both trailers rather good. I knew a little bit about the Guardians trailer based on based on the Comic-Con. Well, was it Comic-Con or was it D23? D23 with the Guardians, description of the Guardians footage, which very much seems like, okay, all that absolutely happened and looks great. Yeah, so I like them both. Of course, I think it's pure man gold, man. It's man gold making us fall in love with Indy again. And on the flip side, James Gunn adding some finality to the Guardians, which of course is going to be bereft with pathos galore. I'm looking forward to
it. He's gunning it.
Yeah, gunning it to the finish line. Yeah.
All right. Koski says this is going to be James Gunn's last adventure with Marvel. After that, he's fully put on his DC boots. Indeed.
Might be an open door policy. Like, hey, James, come back to us, please. If you have the time, which probably won't be for a while, but come back to us, James.
If I understand, his initial stint with him is going to be at least for 5 years.
Yeah, it's like James. It's like your own little kind of end game. It's a little end game snap. Like, come back to us after the blip. DC was the blip. Come back to the house of ideas turned cinema.
Let's see. We also have Z and K in the chat here. He says Disney trailer department. Oh my Dole Whip.
The context for that question is a brand new cartoon starring Oswald. How can this get any better? Hold my Dole Whip.
Yep.
Yeah, and I gotta say that cartoon's nice. I don't know. It's just a little weird that it's only a minute long, but that's fine. I don't want to nitpick that. Anyways, also Atomic Beast says Happy Groot more or less returned to his adult form. Vin Diesel due to his normal Groot voice. Indeed, we'll get there. Super Billy also in the comments says Kingdom Crystal Skull far from the worst thing ever. Yeah, I mean I agree. I don't think it. I think it's far from the worst Spielberg movie. I don't think it's terrible. It's easily the worst of the Indiana Jones movies, obviously. But
then again, that's stiff competition.
Sure. All right. So yeah, without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into it then.
All right.
That's starting off with Indy, kids.
Indy. I'm trying to turn on the captions.
Yeah. This is also the first Indiana Jones movie where we're not going to open on the Paramount Mountain, and I'm kind of sad about that.
But you know what we get instead for this trailer?
What? Sala?
Our old buddy Sala. Yeah.
John Rhys Davies back. I miss the desert.
I was so thrilled. I love incorporating him into this trailer. I love me some John Rhys Davies. I was excited for him to come back, and I think it's like a beautiful kind of I love the wistful Sala, some wistful John Rhys Davies, just kind of breathing some life into this. It's wonderful. Got some cool action. Yeah, go on.
The classic vehicular chase scene.
Mangold, the cinematography on Mangold's traditionally been very good, and I think it definitely shows here.
Yeah, Koski, this is directed by James Mangold, not Spielberg.
Yeah.
But again, it's Mangold kind of capturing a bit of a Spielberg vibe, but also his own voice, his own kind of visual style.
Spielberg and Lucas are basically executive producers of this, so they do still have their hands in it.
Yeah.
And I honestly think Mangold, if we are going to go the route of this being a true send off for the character, Mangold is probably the best choice in Hollywood for that
Mhm.
very story, given the Logan of it all.
Yep.
I love the period, but I love the period accurate cars.
Yep.
I like classic cars.
Of course, I like kind of our alleyway kind of setting here. We're like in a marketplace bazaar of some kind, where it's very closed in, very like every, kind of Agrabah-esque, if you will, coming off of the Aladdin anniversary.
You guys said this was set in the 60s?
Well, yeah, this is like
1969 to be specific.
so. That's the
Okay,
thing.
I
This
really,
movie,
really hope we get hippies. I want one scene of Indiana Jones interacting with hippies,
well,
man.
Tiki, we have that in the trailer.
Oh, do we? Okay, good. I must have missed that. Okay, good.
So yeah, the point being, it seems like we're in the '60s. We're in '69 specifically. Thanks for that, Jacob. And because of it, it seems like it's going to be Indy dealing with kind of we're in the middle of the space race. We're trying to beat the Russians, which again does kind of dovetail back to where we kind of were with the Sputnik era of paranoia with the Russians and in Crystal Skull. And the interesting thing is we're going to delve into a little bit of Operation Paperclip.
Mm-hmm.
The infamous, this from Hunters, the infamous Nazi thing where we have we're bringing kind of the scientists that we probably would not have gotten along with during World War II.
Again, we have Indy jumping to another vehicle.
Yep, never easy with that guy. Never pull the car over. Now he's got to jump mid action sequence.
All right. You can definitely tell they're trying to evoke the sense of the '60s in this, just based on this like
very Mad Men kind of aesthetic here.
Under the sea, I miss the sea. That's a pretty cool shot of all.
You want to hear something really?
This is the other part of the trailer that I do have to nitpick. I am sorry. Indy says he doesn't believe in magic. Bullshit, Indy.
Come on, he came. Did you not hear the rest of the speech though?
Yeah. I think you just heard that. Like, no, he doesn't believe in magic. Blah, 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 blah. You didn't hear the rest of it after.
He saw things he can't explain, and so it's kind of like the whole. It's oddly. I'll just take a minute here. Just two things. One, it's kind of ironic given Han Solo had something a little similar in The Force Awakens. Again, not the same thing. Obviously, that was much more direct. Like, oh yeah, the Force, all that, all exists here. This is more the indie grounded version.
You know what's funny? This is kind of the equivalent to that line. Yeah, you're right. You're right. When you put it like that, I can kind of see it. Yeah.
I miss waking up every morning.
Okay, so here's something really corny. When I heard Sala say, "I miss the desert." I miss the sea. It kind of sounds like he was adding lyrics to the Indiana Jones theme song for a moment.
I miss the desert. I miss the sea. Oh my god!
But then, of course, he went on. The rest of that wouldn't fit the song. But initially, it doesn't just for a moment.
And here's like a good shot of war. I'm guessing it's soon to be World War II.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's the life for me. I'm sorry. Go ahead,
yes, we're in World War II here, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, notice I love Indy run on the top of a train. That's so cool. It's a little like the top, yeah.
Well, planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah. Look how great. That's what I'm saying. Look how great the cinematography looks. Him riding the motorcycle in the rain.
Kills it with the cinematography, man.
Manny!
Koski says any movie about an action hero age 40 and up and set in the 60s has to have a joke about the action hero being annoyed by hippies as a law. I agree. Very much agree.
Those days have come and gone.
And we gave him this fez.
See, classic. We still see old Indy here.
Yeah.
Those days have come and gone. Perhaps not.
God, I love this man so much. I love John Rhys. Sorry, folks, I love John Rhys. Also, technically, has played the Kingpin. Well, somewhat has played the Kingpin in that Incredible Hulk thing back in the day. Even better.
Really? That's funny.
Yeah. Remember the Incredible Hulk, Lou Ferrigno Incredible Hulk TV movie with Daredevil, which also had him in the black suit, which we then got in that Netflix. Anyway,
this is where Indy says, "I don't believe in magic."
Yeah. He don't believe in magic.
There's Toby Jones.
Yeah, so Toby, here's interesting. I don't think, unless they do like a double cross thing, which is a very standard thing for Indy, but I don't know. He seems like he might be a good guy this time around, Toby Jones, instead of being usually the lackey to the bad guy.
Perhaps.
Yeah, it could be a change for him.
Toby Jones played Capote at one point.
There you go, yeah.
but a few times in my life, there's this goddaughter, Helena.
Played by Phoebe Waller-Bridge from Fleabag, which I think a lot of people. Yeah, that's a really good show. Tiki, you never watched Fleabag, did you?
No, I have not.
Yeah, it's good.
Let's see.
Okay, so here's the okay. This is presumably the de-aged flashback. Look, he's even in like a Nazi uniform. So it's probably during that World War II sequence we saw briefly. So this is probably, assumedly, if
It's one sequence, that's totally fine.
Okay,
if it's one sequence, that's fine. My one concern is I just don't want it to be like flashbacks happening throughout the whole movie.
If I'm
That's my one concern.
If I'm a betting man, I'll bet. I think this is what's going to happen, either at the top of the movie or just right around the introduction of Mads Mikkelsen's character. We're going to see how he knows Mads Mikkelsen's character, and
Okay,
either he either stole the Dial of Destiny, or mentioning he was going after the Dial of Destiny, or something, or it could be a disparate adventures to introduce the bad guy, and that's probably what that's going to be. Hence the Nazi undercover Nazi.
I mean, Mangold did say that his age would be addressed in the movie itself, so that's another thing that leads me to believe that. And Harrison Ford was actually impressed by the de-aging himself. So
yeah, I mean, look at it, man. Even if this is de-aging, it looks pretty good.
And yet he still won't sign off on an animatronic likeness of him.
Wait, really?
Yeah, that's actually a thing. Weirdly enough, the Indiana Jones animatronics at Disneyland are technically not in his likeness.
Really? I had no idea.
It's weird. It's a weird loophole. I have no idea why.
Maybe Harrison Ford's just afraid of robots. What if that's it? What if he's just like, I don't trust him. I don't like the idea of So okay, so this is what I'm talking about right here. This, I believe, that is Mads Mikkelsen opening that glowing case right there.
Yeah, he's like, I don't believe in magic, but I've seen things.
Yeah. Well, we know he's also not seen things like close your eyes
that I can't explain.
Right.
Like I said. So right there, that's
the whole "I don't believe in magic" thing. Is like we went through the whole finale of Last Crusade. I'm sorry, but that shit was pretty magical.
Again,
we had the knight and everything. It was literally like medieval magic.
Okay, all right.
I get what the line is going for. I do. I totally do get what the line is going for. It's just a little weird in the.
Hey, did you really feel that way, or are you just parroting what you heard someone else say?
I'm not parroting what I heard someone else say.
I just want to make sure.
Right.
But yeah, so there's Mikkelsen right there. That's kind of a little visual right there.
I just want to throw out there, I think Mads Mikkelsen is like the absolute perfect casting choice for an indie villain.
I'm very excited to see. I'm very excited to see him because I love him as an actor. You're right, Tiggy. Having him in this role is flawless casting.
That must be. I wonder if that's like the Dial of Destiny or part of it.
I think so. I think it's going to be the Dial. I mean, it's kind of a pretty straightforward assumption because it looks kind of dial like you spin it and stuff opens up. So it's probably a dial.
Could be. But plus, as you can see over on the right hand side, almost looks like decaying hands holding onto it.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. It's a corpse holding it. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is kind of standard for this series. You
have to pry it from my cold, dead hands.
But you're a skeleton.
Well, they're still cold and dead.
Okay, fair point.
It's cold room.
I don't know. I wonder if that's a stone hand. It almost looks like a part of it coming out of that statue.
Yeah, that's like a stone. That's a statue. Yeah, see, there's the head of the statue. Yeah, it's all stone.
Okay, Super Billy actually makes an interesting point here. He says first clip of D.H. Ford looks straight out of Last Crusade. He's in uniform tied to a chair.
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible we could see something like in the Last Crusade timeline?
Well, okay, so in that shot that we saw earlier, he's not in the same. Well,
or do you think it's just evoking Last Crusade?
I think it's evoking Last Crusade because in Last Crusade he's in two outfits when he's really with the Nazis, and he's just in like the tie when he's rescuing his father. But later on, when he runs into Hitler, he is in a Nazi uniform, if memory serves. Now, unless we're saying something happened like at some point when he's getting the book, and this guy, I highly doubt we're saying, hey, this really big event we never talked about happened while he was kind of bumping into Hitler.
Right.
Well, didn't the Last Crusade take place technically still in the 30s?
Yes, so I
It's
think
entirely-
you're.
I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Then again,
Yeah.
it is entirely. I mean, the war did carry on until like the mid 1940s, so it is entirely possible he went back at some point.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think, Jacob, I think it's most likely going to be what you just said. I think we're going to be directly in the war versus like the beginnings of like Hitler rallying the troops of the war overseas and such,
All right.
Right.
And,
which is what we saw in Last Crusade.
You know
Do
what?
we think we're gonna see Marion at all in this movie? By the way,
I honestly, I don't think so. I think, well, if she's going to be in it, it's going to be a cameo. Like
a
we'll
quick
see.
cameo at the beginning or something. Yeah.
I think if we see his home life, we'll see Marion unless they kill her off. I think that's.
You know who I really want to see?
Ooh.
Short Round.
Well, that's okay. So that's the big thing because they bumped into everyone, possibly misinterpreted because we saw them bump into each other at D23, but I think we all hope, like, come on.
Okay, I'm just
They're-
saying, Ki Kwan. Like, you know, I'm a little bit over the Everything Everywhere All at Once hype. I think it's a really good movie. I don't think it's like I don't know. I'm a little over the hype for it, but at the same time, Ki Kwan, like, he kills that movie. He is easily the, like, you know, I mean, you know, with all due respect to Michelle Yeoh, I think she's great, but Ki Kwan is the standout of that movie. So I would love to see him come back.
I am
mean,
hoping
I'm just
for
saying,
Short
like,
Round.
he really killed that movie.
Right now, they have not officially listed him in the cast, but I'm hoping that's because he's a surprise. That's what
It'd be a wonderful surprise, man. It really would.
Because I think here's the thing: if Marion again, she's either going to be like in his home life, and then but again, you have to wonder why she wouldn't come along the journey. So I think they're probably going to go the simplest route, which is probably kill her off, kind of like they did with the Rocky films.
Rocky, yeah, I could see that.
So
Yeah,
that's probably what's going to happen there. And yeah,
You mean kill her up before the events of the movie? I guess.
yeah, like they're going to say like she died between 4 and 5. Yeah.
I swear to God, Rocky having that frickin' chair at
I
the
know.
grave in the tree is still one of the saddest things I've ever seen.
Don't bring up that chair, man. I don't want to weep on it. Don't bring up
I'm
that
just
chair.
saying.
Spoiler alert.
Right.
but okay, but saying like speaking of this like shot, you know what this like these shots like this and like the plane shot earlier remind me of? It's like I know this is his usual Mangold's usual cinematographer. Then
I'm sorry, Super Billy. You're right. I am. sorry about that.
What?
Oh, he's just saying happy to see my embarrassing type at one screen for so long. I forgot to take his comment down. Go ahead, Jacob. I'm sorry.
All right, but as I was trying to say, like this shot in particular and the shot with the plane earlier, like I know this is his usual cinematography feed, and I can't even remember his last name. This is Mangold's usual cinematographer, but this kind of reminds me like they're taking like notes from Roger Deakins. Like it's this very Deakins-esque cinematography.
I can see that.
Like cinematography and lighting with Roger Deakins style.
Yes, Deacon Rogers.
The Deeks.
All right.
God.
It's just like the uses of the lighting and the shadows just kind of reminds me of his work.
Yeah.
Like in Skyfall and Blade Runner 2099.
Mm-hmm.
Or
For sure,
2049. 2049 rather, I mean. Wait. 29. You know what I mean.
2049.
I was right the first time.
I think you were thinking of Spider-Man 2099 for a second there.
Yeah. I probably was.
Yeah.
But anyway. Classic trap.
Uh-huh.
I've come to believe it's not so much what you believe.
I mean, they got to admit, I know John Wick's kind of made a meal out of this lately, but Indy back on a horse, but in the city setting is really
Pause on
cool.
that image, Jacob.
What?
Go ahead, Dragon.
But yeah, this image here of Indy on a horseback in the modern setting, versus kind of like just in kind of the old, well, not in the old, like kind of in the more mountainous terrain and everything, more natural setting. It's a cool visual. I know John Wick 3 definitely made a meal out of riding horseback through the city, but I don't know, something about Indy doing, especially with this very patriotic. This probably set during the 4th of July. I'm betting, man, giving all the American flags out right now. Either that or election or wait a minute. Actually, you know what? It might be. It might be actually during the I forget how much ceremony happened. Might be during the moon landing.
Ooh, that's a good cool.
Didn't that actually happen in July too?
I mean, it was June or July. I don't know which one. I don't. But regardless, even if it's
I'm sorry. It's like I know my history. I just can't remember the exact day of the moon landing.
Regardless, even if it's not in July, just because it's because it's like a big event for the States, they're probably going to have the flags out for like a little parade of sorts.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I know the moon landing was in '69 because my mom was alive to watch it.
Yeah, yes.
But I want to say it's like July 19th or something.
Well, it's June or July. I don't know which one.
But I'm sorry for.
It really
I'm
doesn't
sorry.
matter, guys. Let's not,
Okay.
like,
Anyway, so Indy riding on horseback.
I don't know how that got unmuted for a moment. I might have been-
and also Super Billy, he does have a nitpick here. He says Ford's elderly head digitally projected onto a young stuntman riding a horse against a green screen may be cringe. It's basically a perverse version of like Last Crusade's final shot. Super Billy, gotta say, I think that's a little harsh.
Yeah.
But I do see the whole, like, I like the imagery of it. However, I do think, like, they do have to be careful about the Ford's head on the green screen stunt, man. They do have to be careful about that. I don't personally mind it, but I can see the worry of the stuntman thing.
It is interesting. They've been doing this sort of trick ever since Temple of Doom, when Harrison
Right,
Ford injured
right.
himself. When they had to shoot around the stunt guy because Harrison Ford notoriously gets injured during these movies.
But I will say I do like the imagery of it. I really do. Like you guys said, the patriotic vibes. Like, to me, this is the most striking image in the whole trailer for me.
I mean, again, I just love him running in that tunnel on the horseback, on the horse. Just it's so freaking awesome. It's the danger, the last second danger of it all. He's running. He's playing chicken with a train, a subway car.
Eat that, Doc Brown.
Also, this here's Boyd Holbrook in a mustache.
Yes. Indeed.
For some reason, he reminds me of Biff Tannen.
I mean, I kind of see.
Kind of like, for me, he has an Owen Wilson vibe.
Well, it's because of the suit, mostly.
Yeah, it's literally because it looks like he's doing a Morbius cosplay.
No, Loki, that's not a metaphor. It's my salad.
Like, if that bike was a jet ski, it'd be perfect.
And it's Mobius, not Morbius.
I'm sorry. I legitimately do get the two confused, Jacob. I'm sorry.
I know it's an easy case. It's an easy mistake, but his name is Mobius M. Mobius.
Yep.
Yeah. And then, of course, we have Dragon. What Dream is Morpheus, right?
Yeah, it's Morpheus. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, confusing. Anyways,
Hey,
The three M's.
Morpheus is also the character from Matrix.
well, yeah, I know, Jacob. Thank you.
Imagine if those four guys got into a room together. All these M names. That's
Oh, God.
All right, there we
It'd
go.
be like the name equivalent of the Carter Pewterschmidt and Dr. Hartman gag.
Yeah.
Hey, you have my name. No, you have my name.
Okay.
And the fact that they're voiced by the same person and sound almost exactly the same. I'm sorry. I don't know why my video is so blurry. I have it set to 1080p.
Yeah, I hate it when that happens too.
I mean, you can look at my screen. Look, 1080p.
No,
It's all good, Jacob. Don't
All right.
worry too much about it. It's fine.
But like I said, I'm a sucker for these classic cars, and just look at that classic car.
It's a classic, all right. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Here we go. Just look at him riding there.
Look at him go.
Look at him go.
Oh, by the way, I don't know if we've hit the hippies yet or not. Jacob, did we go over the hippies yet? Or are they coming up?
No, we haven't hit the hippies yet.
Okay.
All right.
Oh yes, he's grabbing the hat.
The hat and the whip.
It's not an indie movie until he grabs the hat.
The hat, the whip, the maps, the triangles, the rulers, the bag.
Because when I think Indiana Jones, I think triangles.
Need my triangles in my indie movie.
Exactly what I was thinking. Yes. Oh God.
I have a fever, and the only prescription is more triangles.
Oh God.
I would love to see Christopher Walken in one of these movies, actually.
I had to explain the more cowbell thing to a coworker who didn't understand the reference when a cowbell came into my work, and that was not fun. It's like, oh shit, I forget you're too young to have been there. You weren't there, man. I was like, here, just freaking watch this. Pull up the Christopher Walken bit. Anyways.
I think a lightning strikes as he puts on his hat. Fly. There we go.
Yeah, a little sidecar action.
It's hard to tell who's actually in the motorcycle on this.
Yeah. Might just be Nazis about to crash. It's entirely possible.
Yep. Looking at this, it kind of looks like the statue's almost of like Atlas or something.
Yeah, so this is that earlier shot, Jacob. This is right. That was after she pulled the giant boulder down. Of course, a little boulder homage to Raiders there.
I love the boulder. Yeah, gotta love the boulder. Clap for the boulder because we know what that is.
Oh, that's a natural way of working.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. And I do like this. I do kind of like the transition between like the boulder falling to the ground and then the explosion like that.
Yeah.
Blowing up some nuts, and then
okay, there's the.
Oh my god, that is a quick shot. That's a quick shot. You don't blame me for missing that.
It looks like he's slipping. It looks like he's almost slapping like one of the like maybe an undercover.
Is that Boyd? That's not Boyd Holbrook, right?
I don't think it's because Boyd Holbrook's in the suit.
Back and forth.
Oh my god, that's great. Just Indy slapping a hippie. Oh,
it's
perfect.
like the Batman and Robin
Perfect.
meme, It's like
back and forth.
That's what I think of your piece. Take that, hippie. I don't like hippies.
I gotta tell you, I know it's low-hanging fruit, but this hippie scene is easily the scene I'm most looking forward to.
He's gonna hit that hippie in his.
Let's be frank though. Some hippies deserve it.
Yeah, take that, hippies.
Some hippies deserve it.
Yep.
Another young maybe probably punching a Nazi.
See, this is why America loves. Just to speak to the patriotism of this trailer. This is why America loves punching Nazis and backhanding hippies. That's why we love Indiana Jones.
And he's punching actual Nazis.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Punching actual.
That is sadly something we have to clarify nowadays. But yes,
like, because people like to easily throw that to anyone they don't like nowadays.
Oh, I know it. I know. I don't want to get too political, but I know it.
Punch the old school Nazis and backhand the hippies of the
Koski's
60s.
like, this is what Eric Cartman wishes he could do. Punch a hippie. Oh my god, dude! South Park has to have a frickin'. Because South Park did an episode about King of the Crystal Skull.
Yeah,
I would love it if South Park was like, yeah, Indy's punching hippies, you guys. It's the best movie ever. Anyway, sorry. That was a terrible Trey Parker impression.
Hey, he's punching a hippie. That's awesome.
Mine's not much better, but there you go.
Wait. Doesn't Matt do Cartman?
Yeah, he does no, Trey does Cartman.
Oh, Trey does Okay, Matt does Kyle, right?
And it's like each of them does two.
Okay, yeah.
I believe.
All right, I'm sorry.
I think Matt does Kyle and Kenny.
Okay, that makes sense. Anyways, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, I could be mistaken, but I know for a fact that Trey does Cartman.
Okay, let's kill the Kenny bit here. Let's just move on.
So he slaps hippies and punches Nazis, assuming this fist belongs to Indy.
How can it not belong to Indy, man? Come on.
I mean, it probably does, but it could be any other random Nazi.
It could
puncher.
be Sala. That would be equally as satisfying.
Yeah, it could be, like I said, it could be someone else punching a Nazi.
I'm behind a man in a fez punching a Nazi all the time.
That's all I'm saying.
I think there's Holbrook again.
Yeah, no, that actually is Holbrook, yes.
And also, apparently, there's some kind of protest going on. War is maybe it might be leading to the whole Vietnam.
Well, yeah, I assume this is a Vietnam protest. Yeah,
and the hippies don't care about the gunfire. They're just like our opinions. Yeah,
just like nowadays. Sorry, that's as political as I'm going to get.
All right, anyway, point being, mustache with a gun. Moving on.
Okay, they do actually care.
Okay, I take back what I said. Okay, but this is cool. Seriously, this is a good thing. I've seen this move sometimes in things where when you shoot the gun in the air, everyone goes down. So the guy who's not reacting to that is your man. That's how you find him in the crowd. It's a good move.
Yep, everyone goes down except Indy.
That's cool.
There we have Toby Jones on a train.
Yep,
almost looks like he's about to be hit by that oncoming pole.
Yeah, hopefully, it's not how he dies.
That would be like the most slapstick death.
Oh well, here's the thing. We know Jamie Mangold loves setting fights on top of trains. If you've seen the Wolverine,
right.
The series is known for its humor, too. So that wouldn't exactly be out of place.
Yep.
Apparently, his character's name is Basil.
Yeah.
Or Basil.
Basil Oregano.
Yes, that.
Basil of Baker Street.
Yes, that's where I was going. Actually, speaking of which, I would like to see Mangold direct a Sherlock Holmes movie.
Okay, so this actually
I could see that.
like
a period accurate Holmes movie. I mean,
Okay, so this, if we look here, I believe as a de-age Harrison Ford, so that implies all of this is in our 40s flashback still.
Yep, and it looks like it's on the. That might be on like the sidecar chase.
Okay.
I mean, looks at it. It kind of looks like it.
No, it does, because I don't think it'd be the train, just given that'd be a really far fall. It doesn't really look like train tracks.
And how cool would it be though to see like a motorcycle on top of a train?
Well, it would be awesome.
Oh yeah. See, I think that is the side. Either that or it's a very low car.
Yeah.
But yep, it is the sidecar. Never mind.
Okay.
And that scene is like straight up looking like India, like looking straight out of Star Wars.
That one doesn't
Yeah,
look. Is Indy
just a
on the
little
Millennium
bit,
Falcon
yeah.
right now?
I think
Someone goofed up.
I don't know exactly what the. I mean, obviously it's like a cockpit of a plane.
Yeah, it's a so you can tell by
Uh-huh.
the altimeters at the top there. So it's definitely the cockpit of a plane, probably like a bomber if I'm a betting man.
It's like he's going out into a storm or something.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Because we saw the rain when he was chasing a plane on the on the motorcycles. He was probably jumping on the plane or something.
Most likely.
Yeah.
It's still a pretty cool shot though, and
More train fights, man. Looking with that whip, he's whipping everybody around, right around there.
it seems like there's gonna be like a big action sequence set when he was younger, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And of course everything's period accurate, including the guns.
Mm-hmm. A lot of Lugers, some Hawk and some Louis there, as Indy likes to call that move.
nice shot here.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna.
That guy's having a bad day.
Yeah.
I'm cuffed to the sinking stuff.
Looks like almost like a flare or something underwater.
Yeah. Now this is my kind of stuff here. I love how we have the score coming up here. Honestly, the score through the whole thing as you're playing kind of on the piano, we're hyping it up and we're going kind of orchestral with it. I love when Indy's like pinning the gun that's trying to get him while he's being pinned between cars.
Obviously, this is somewhere in the Middle East or something, or maybe Egypt.
Yeah.
There's the goddaughter again driving that. Indy doing
right there.
the gun, the train.
Got some intercut action there. A little good mirror shot. Good on you, Mangold. Get some angles in there.
There we go. Oh.
I mean, I got a really weird Indiana Jones question for you guys.
Huh?
What do you like better? You like Indy with the tie, a la Last Crusade, or without the tie, like Raiders?
Raiders.
Yeah?
Oh, probably Raiders.
Okay.
I don't know, just the more classic look.
No, for sure. As I'm just saying,
And honestly, Last Crusade is always like, I know this is probably an unpopular opinion, but for me, it's always been like, it's still a really good movie, but it's always been my least favorite of the trilogy.
Communist.
Like I said, it's still a great movie. I'm just saying, if I were to rank them, it would be number 3.
Okay.
So,
I mean,
one of them's got to be at the bottom.
I mean, basically, the ranking so far for me would be like the order they were released. Funnily enough,
Yeah.
Right.
like Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple
In
of
my
Doom.
heart of hearts, Temple of Doom is number 1. I know it's not as flawless as Raiders, but it's in my heart of hearts. Like I don't know, I love it.
I mean, I'll defend Temple of Doom as well. But
I love the crap out of Temple of Doom.
and of course, there's this scene where he's like jumping
This
over the
right here, all
turnstile.
the horse in the subway, man.
Woo!
So awesome. He's so cool.
Indiana Jones. and
Someone
the
should give
Dial.
that guy a franchise. I don't know what anyone else says. Someone should give that man a franchise. It'd be amazing.
Indiana Jones and the Dial of
I gotta
Destiny.
tell you guys, I really do like the title.
Yeah.
It does have a nice ring to it.
A lot of people were thinking Spear of Destiny, so this is kind of an interesting mix of that. Hitler's Spear of Destiny, that whole chestnut.
Okay, I do really, really love this. Like, this whole end tag is kind of like, to me, the most classic feeling Indiana Jones stuff we get in the whole trailer, for me personally. I'm her godfather!
He's mildly related.
Again, I'm thinking she's Marcus Brody's daughter. I think that's probably the thing that makes the most sense. Otherwise, if they really want to go ambitious, she could either be Sala's daughter, because Sala did have a lot of kids, or the more ambitious, she's Short Round's daughter.
Oh my god.
That'll be a bit more. Yeah, I don't really believe that one.
I know. I think again, Brody is probably the most logical.
I mean, honestly, obviously, if they were going to go with like Short Round's daughter, they probably would have cast like either an Asian or half Asian actress.
Yeah, imagine how that's what I'm saying. It'd be really bold if they made her Short Round's daughter.
Yeah, so so he's whipping this group.
I love this gag. I really love this gag.
Yeah. But again, this is Indy to a T that no one ever talks
It's
about.
essentially what I love about this gag is it's essentially the swordsman gag, but the tides are turned on Indy.
Yeah.
It's like he just pulls the gun on the sword, and then now he's like whipping everybody, and then they're just pulling a gun on him. Like, I really love the third guy from the left, the tall guy in the gray suit. Like,
It's cool.
Just look at the determination on that guy's face.
Like, hey, no whipping, hey.
Well, yeah,
He's
8
like-
marks in the comments. Hey, man, I haven't seen you in a minute. Happy to have you.
See,
All
honestly,
right. Let's see. Koski Production says Borat. And yeah, the guy with the mustache does very much look like Borat.
Actually,
Like a very badass, suave Borat.
it actually would be pretty cool to see Sacha Baron Cohen in this.
I must buy it now.
It'd be still better than the
I have
sequel.
lots of facts. I'm sorry. I'll spare you guys. I'll spare you.
And it'd still be better than the Borat sequel.
The Borat sequel was all right. It was
Like-
all right.
That's why I said it'd be better.
It wasn't great, but it was all right.
But yeah,
yeah,
So go on.
this bit at the end here does seem very, very classically Indiana Jones in terms of like, it's a thing we always occasionally forget about. He's the imperfect 007. He's the guy who's like,
Totally.
again, he's the gritty version of where he's going to get in over his head and kind of the classic kind of serial kind of 40s comedy to a degree of like, get guns on him. He's going to duck under the table real quick. Like, yeah.
Koski's like, they're like, dude, quit whipping us, you weirdo.
Yeah.
You're basically about a whip to a gunfight.
Yeah, but they're probably thinking like, who does that? Well, we're in the 30s. It worked in the 30s.
And he's like, that's like a classic. Oh shit!
Yep, that's a classic indie. Like, oh, I didn't think that one through.
He's like,
Perfect. I love it. I really do love the timing on that. It's great. All right.
That's great.
Overall, though, like I think the trailer, I like the fact that it doesn't really give us a lot about the plot. But having said that, there's not a ton for me to get overly excited about just yet. It is a good kind of tone setter trailer.
Like I said,
Now, this, on the other hand, I am very excited about this.
Well, as I said at the beginning of this, it lets us fill it in with our imaginations. We always accuse trailers of giving too much away, but then we're always always upset when they don't give enough away.
Indy, Indy, you don't really need to know much. He's going after a new item. It's a new time period, and is he old or not? Well, we know the answer. He's old, but he's still awesome. I mean, honestly,
I would venture to say that the Avatar, that the Way of Water trailers have been a good kind of it gives us a good appetite for what the film is, but it doesn't really tell us anything about the actual plot. I think trailers are starting to get a little bit better at that. Anyways,
All right, Marvel. Moving on to our second part of our double feature. Our science fiction adventure double feature.
yeah, this just looks freaking great, man. It really does.
The classic stereo look of the Marvel Studios logo.
Mm-hmm.
okay, so right off the bat, you'll notice the progression on the Guardians. They're now Star-Lord's finally in his comic book costume, like the original costume from when Star-Lord wasn't as cool as the film version of Star-Lord. He's wearing the blue suit. Basically, we gave it to Rocket first in Endgame, and now we've kind of given it to the rest of the team here. So it's kind of So the idea the Guardians seem to be trying, since they bought Nowhere and everything, been trying to go a little bit more legit of we're the Guardians of the Galaxy. Now that half of Xandar has been, or possibly the entirety of Xandar has been wiped out, we're kind of like Xandar kind of anointed, one could say. So I mean the Nova Corps anointed, one could say.
We were gone for quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wonder if that's like a subtle fourth wall kind of lean.
Yeah, it might be.
It's like yeah, we know, but you missed us.
Yep.
We were gone for a while.
We gave you a Merry Christmas, and now we're back to do stuff.
you.
There's
And
Chloe.
the Christmas special established that they literally own Nowhere.
Yeah, that's the thing. So it seems like they're trying to go legit, hence redeeming Nowhere.
This is basically their second Christmas present.
Yeah, so this right here, this ship, this is their new ship called the Bowie, apparently.
I love that.
Yeah.
First the Milano, then the Benatar, and now the Bowie.
So that second one was called the Benatar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Like, Alyssa Milano, Pat Benatar, and then David Bowie.
No, that makes sense. I always wondered what the second ship was called, but now I know. Okay, Benatar.
It almost looks like the Statue of Liberty in the center.
This
Well, that's the
very
thing.
much-
This is a
This very much looks like a weird kind of like Zootopia version of New York.
which ultimately it really is.
Right.
Initially, I was thinking, "Oh God, Star-Lord's finally returned to Earth."
Mhm. That's what I was thinking too.
Well, not quite.
and it might just be where Rocket came from too, if the trailer's any indication.
Oh, that's a good point, Jacob. I wasn't even thinking that. That's a
Well, then-
really good point.
Well, that might be like major conjecture because we do see the animals are slightly anthropomorphic here. Who knows? Maybe they're the result of experiments too.
That's the thing. It's a question of
But-
later
but-
on when we see Rocket, is he anthropomorphic or not?
But when we see like a little raccoon, that could be a rocket. But then again, that could not be a rocket. So
Yeah,
who
I don't-
knows?
Yeah.
All right. And for some reason, this trailer isn't as blurry as the Indeed one was.
Well, just give it time.
Yeah, I mean that very well could not be the Statue of Liberty, but I mean it definitely looks cleaner than the Hudson, that's for sure.
Well, we know it's not. Well, yeah, we know it's not the Statue of Liberty. We know it's some alternate interplanetary version of the Statue of Liberty.
And definitely, and the river looks cleaner than the Hudson.
Exactly. These guys are doing something right. Oh yes, look at the scale there, man. Look
That
at
looks really cool.
Now
yeah.
here's the question: is the scale because of kind of like an animal sort of thing, or
That's
when we
actually
see-
a good question. I didn't even think about that. That
When
is a
we-
legitimately good question.
Now, when we see them, take note of when we see these guys, because little
Uh-huh.
girl obviously is a little girl. Is everyone else shorter than the Guardians? You think?
This might all be CG, but I just love how practical it looks.
Yeah,
And I love the color scheme too. Again, I'm
Yeah.
going to talk about the colors a lot with this
And-
trailer, but I mean that is just one thing that James Gunn brings to the MCU that just I'm not saying he's the only director that really works with color schemes, but I mean, man, his films pop.
and you know me, I'm not usually one to like prefer practical over physical, but even if this is like, it almost looks like they built like a tiny set of houses. And
He really does look like a miniature, doesn't it? Now that we've
It does.
freeze framed it.
Mhm.
That was just extremely good CG.
Or the
Well,
best
it's a
model.
bigature, as Peter Jackson would say. You know, a bigature. It's like it's bigger than the average miniature, but it's still a miniature. It's a bigature.
Okay.
Sorry, I
Okay.
love Peter Jackson.
Yeah.
And of course we get this. Of course we have the Guardian, the classic walk shot. We have Quill, Mantis, who we've just learned that are brother and sister. Spoiler alert. Nebula, Drax, and of course Buff Groot.
Yeah, Swole Groot's the kids. are
Swole
calling him.
Groot. I'm not sure how I feel about that name.
Well,
but-
again, that's just what the kids are calling him. He's not
I
really
know,
called
I
Swole.
know.
I went with Buff Groot.
No, I know you. I'm saying the other kids.
I went with young adult Groot personally.
Yeah, I say honestly, that's my
Well,
logic. I think
Buff,
Groot's just-
Buff Groot rolls off the tongue better.
I think
It does.
I say this is the young. Well, this really doesn't make much. I keep saying the young man Groot. He's the young man in his
Young
20s.
man.
He's the young man in his 20s. You know, that's
Young
essentially-
man.
Young man.
Anyway,
All right.
I'm not going to sing any more of that song to avoid copyright.
I wonder. Keep an eye out for rockets in this scene or not, because that would also be an indicator of if these guys might have a correlation with the raccoon.
Let's see.
Doesn't look like it actually. Now that you mention it,
Yeah, we come in
you
peace.
see him? I don't.
Okay,
see
well,
him.
okay, so they're all scaled to be actually because they are all actual human sizes, but no, I
Uh-huh.
do not see rocket.
Like, I don't think that. I don't see a rocket here.
College Groot is a good one, Koski. That's a
Ah,
good-
that is
that's a
good.
one.
College Groot.
He is that.
I
is
went to college.
I am Groot. Of course, translated to I went to college.
Your mom went to college.
Again, the makeup effects are.
Well, that's. I don't know. I think. Are you sure that's makeup? That one looks.
I mean,
CGI.
majority of the Dragon. I watched all the behind the scenes stuff. A lot of the aliens are just a lot of makeup.
Well, I know that. I know James Gunn likes to do the makeup on pretty much everyone. I'm saying some
I
of
mean,
these.
I'm guessing this might be CG, but
At the very least, there some of them might be pushed a little bit with CG on top of makeup. That might be what's going on.
I mean, that's
So,
most.
you ever wondered what a live-action BoJack Horseman would look like?
I never thought of that. It's a really good point.
That's the first thing I thought of.
No, I did. I was just wrapped up in we're not on Earth to like think about it. Yeah, this is. Oh my God, Tiki, you're right. This is what live action BoJack would look like. That's true.
Okay, so with this gag here, I don't know how they keep making Drax this funny. I don't know. They
Jacob, can we do an instant replay
same
on that?
basic formula every time, but it's still fucking hilarious, man. It's still hilarious. There is just something about Batista's delivery. I don't know. It's Jacob. That's a freaking great gift. That's a great gift. Oh my God.
I mean, I'm not really doing it. I'm just having it like framing it backwards.
I know, but that's
Just go-
still like. Oh my God. Come on, man. But again, like this type of humor for Drax should be old by now, but it's not somehow.
Aye.
Oh my
Everybody-
God.
Crowd's like,
Seriously, dude.
dude.
Look at how buff that panda is, by the way. Of course, I hope he doesn't throw rocks, but we know he's going to throw rocks, probably at Drax.
Oh my God.
And of course, Drex. And of course, Drex finds the whole thing hilarious.
Until
Hey.
Hey,
No.
why did you do that? Well, you hit that little girl a ball right in the face.
It's like apparently Drex doesn't know the meaning of a gentle toss.
And of course, the irony being their landing gave them all those rocks to throw. If you pay attention, because remember when they landed, it dusted up all those rocks.
Yeah, and they're all just like.
Not exactly. Again, this is the thing. The Guardians is trying to present kind of like a united front here with the uniformity of the new outfits and everything. We're the new Guardians, man.
And if you just look at Groot, he just doesn't care.
Yeah, so it's just the fact that these guys, again, it's the stamp of the Guardians. They're trying their best, but they're still kind of the level screw ups.
It's like Nebula's recoiling, everyone's recoiling, and Groot's just like, hey, what's going on? He definitely is in college.
Yep.
Yeah, it came from director James Gunn.
Yeah, big surprise.
Peter,
And of course, we have Peter with the Zune. He's listening to the Zune.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if he got any new songs since
Yeah. Yeah, I remember he's got. Oh, you mean has he downloaded any new songs?
Yes.
Well, that's the thing. Remember they did it. I wonder. They cloned music in Guardians Volume 2. They introduced that concept of cloning the music. So I wonder if cloning the music means he could also regain the songs that he lost from Volume 2 onto the Zune.
I think because the father and son song was already on there because of Yondu.
Yeah.
It's like I wonder if like other songs are from Yondu, or he just found like ways to download new songs.
Well, it's either that or he found it pre-downloaded with all the songs on it. That's possible. It might be what happened.
Yeah, or maybe he found some way to like convert the songs he has on records or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're putting too much thought into it.
Yes, we are.
Okay, but still a good shot of him standing in space, listening to the music. Did it say? I forget the name of. I didn't see the name of the song. Did they list that yet? In the Meantime by Space Hog, apparently.
Yeah.
It seems like to be a good choice. Don't forget.
Okay, so here's now this is the thing that was hyped up at Jacob. I think it was Comic-Con and not D23, but I could be wrong.
I think I might have been mistaken when you said that. I might have been thinking of.
Because I remember Kevin Smith mentioning this, and I think he was at Comic-Con and not D23. So.
I know, and Indy was D23.
There you go.
Guardians might have been Comic-Con.
So this is the big talked about shot here, where you have a Rocket before his transformation, and this human hand, or at least this imposing hand, coming for him, which possibly is the High Evolutionary. I suspect the High Evolutionary is going to be. I think they're going to be running into the High Evolutionary, and then they're going to find out, okay, this Rocket has history with this guy. And this
I think the High Evolutionary is confirmed for this movie.
Well, yeah, we know he's at the convention. Yeah, he's confirmed for it.
I didn't look into the convention.
Oh well, yeah. He's one of the actors from Peacemaker. He's playing the High Evolutionary.
Well, another James Gunn thing. So that
Exactly.
works.
So based on that, it's interesting that I suspect the high evolutionary in this movie is either going to just be someone they come across and then they'll bring about the rocket stuff, or high evolutionary kidnaps Gamora when they're looking for her, and that just brings everything full circle with rocket and everything. Is high evolution's been doing a lot of bad stuff in the galaxy.
And I'll look at poor little possibly Rocket here.
Well, it's got to be Rocket. We transitioned to Rocket.
Aw. Yeah.
It's either Rocket or his mother. So I mean, those are the only two options.
Can we just how impressive this shot is of the details of his fur? Look at that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think
Yeah,
I think it's very this bit definitely signals this is going to be Rocket's movie.
And speaking of continuing
James
my
Gunn
point,
has more or less confirmed that, but yeah.
and also continuing what I said, it's like you can it just compare this to what you see in Guardians 1. It looks miles better than what it was before. If you ask me, it just looks.
I mean, it was still impressive, but you're right, it has gotten better. But yeah.
You could just look that much more detail. Probably wouldn't have been able to do a close up like this that they did before.
Yeah.
All right, so oh my god, I love shit like this so much. Just I don't know. There's something about the way that James Gunn plays with primary colors that's just so eye-catching to me.
Now this is interesting because I have to imagine they're going to save Rocket in this because I don't see a little spacesuit in there for Rocket unless he's somehow squirreled into a full-sized one.
Or that or he's staying behind to pilot the ship.
That's a good point. That one probably Jacob actually might be the case. Yeah.
Because remember, he likes to share co-piloting duties with Quill.
That is true. Actually, makes a lot of sense. Maybe I shouldn't read into Rocket not being in certain scenes.
Right.
I mean, Dragon, you could be entirely correct.
Yeah.
I do like the different colored spaces. And it's just how it's color coordinated. You can tell who's in what.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there's
Now Gamora. She's alive. That's good to know.
And she's looking at a photograph of some kind.
Yeah.
You remember those people? Real life physical photographs.
See, kids, that's called a Polaroid.
Right. Yeah, it's specifically a Polaroid photograph.
So this is probably something Quill gave her. She's probably looking at something Quill probably took of him in the original Gamora, I think.
But where did she have gotten this?
Well, I'm saying from Quill, so she probably found it on her. Well, she probably went on the ship or somewhere and found it. Possible. That's a guess.
Oh.
I was saying, how the heck else did she find a Polaroid? So, of course, here we're in nowhere right now. It's the Guardian Zone, and Nebula's carrying the passed-out Star-Lord.
And Rocket's just drinking something.
Like a coffee or something.
I didn't actually notice that the first time I watched this, but he's just drinking something. There's Kraglin, who seems to be probably in a bigger role in this movie.
Yeah.
And there's Cosmo, the good girl that she is.
Yep.
Okay. I'm done running.
Yeah. Rocket's definitely got a chip on his shoulder here, presumably for the high evolutionary. But again, I was assuming that's going to line up the way I think it is.
Wonder what that is.
We have this weird. Again, that's probably where the high evolution is held up in. It's this weird organic kind of a spirally base. So this is the high evolutionaries. The idea, he's a man who's upgraded himself to the pinnacle of perfection. That's what he looks like right there, which is pretty close to the comics. Only I think there's more face shown, but it's about the same.
Okay, now I feel stupid because I thought that was Adam Warlock.
No, Adam works later. Tiki. He comes.
Okay,
later.
my bad.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, but the point is that's our bad guy. The guy we just saw is the bad guy.
Gamora in her action pose.
Yep. Which again, her being
Gamora, we know this is going to be the Endgame version of Gamora, right?
So this is the daughter of Thanos, who basically survived on a technicality.
Okay.
This is basically pre-Guardians 1 Gamora.
Yeah, this is 2014 Gamora before. Yeah, but pre-Guardians Gamora. Exactly what Jacob said. Yes.
Still is planning on killing Thanos though.
Well,
she
knows that Thanos died though.
That's what I mean was at that point she was quick to still going to turn against him eventually.
Right. You're right. Yeah. Sorry. Yes.
So.
Yeah.
It's time.
Okay, now this shot right here, this is very interesting to me for many
This
reasons.
is really interesting. Yeah.
And it
So
looks
for
like
two-
if it's this, if we're assuming if we're operating under the assumption which you saw earlier was the fact high evolutionary, it looks like this is at wherever that takes place.
Now, yeah, exactly. Now, a few things here. So, one, these guys in the prison are looking kind of chewing gum brainy. I'm assuming this is what the high
Chewing
evolution.
gum brainy.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm thinking these weird monstrosities are what the high evolutionary is turning people into,
Uh-huh.
as kind of his lackeys or henchmen or experiments are maybe being freed here. Now, beyond that,
Kind of body horror, kind of.
you're very body horror. That's what James Gunn excels at with like stuff like Slither, apparently, which I've not seen, but again, I've
Yeah.
heard the horror stories. Regardless, we have two things that really stand out to me beyond those background guys here. Is that the one, our guardians are in kind of prisoner outfits, which of course very indicative in closing the book on how they all met each other. They met each other in the kiln in prison, which is kind of a throwback, going all full circle. Maybe going to have some sparks go off for Gamora of like realizing, oh man, she likes these guardians. She likes hanging out with them.
I'm about to die surrounded by the biggest idiots in the galaxy.
Yeah, and the other thing, the dramatic thing in this scene, Drax looks seriously hurt.
Considering they're showing this in the trailer, though, I don't think it's going to lead to his death.
But then again, think about this though. We see a lot of potential death moments in this trailer with a lot of Guardians.
No, that is fair.
That's the thing. I mean, we see kind of Drax. Drax is rather injured, and then of course we have a lot of.
I mean, it straight up looks like he was like shot in the chest with something, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. We looked at that.
Well, Drax is durable, so it had to have been.
Although, yeah, then again, we do. I was gonna say we do have that whole section in the holiday special about how he's in like bullets just.
But that's the thing, though. Those are bullets.
It tickles. It tickles.
That's those are human Earth bullets. This is like in space with energy, probably something a little heavier. More so, what's distressing me is the fact that when have we seen Drax have to be carried like this after taking a blast like that?
I mean, I was about to point out, like, I mean, look at all the abuse he goes through in like the first Guardians, and like in the third and the second movie, he's like flown through space, and when they crash land on that one distant planet. Like he's like floating, like that was awesome.
That's what I'm saying. Like something sounds like something serious has just happened to him here.
Like so it had to be like a weapon of like extreme proportions.
Yeah.
So Koski Productions, he said earlier that if they kill Rocket, I am never forgiving James Gunn. But
that's very much the vibe I think we're all getting from.
I hate to say it, but yeah, I if I'm worried for anyone, it's not Drax.
I mean, James Gunn's the only one who has the. James Gunn is the only filmmaker in town who has the guts to kill off an anthropomorphic raccoon in a movie intended for all audiences.
I mean, the first movie he killed off Groot for crying.
That's what I'm saying. He killed off the beloved tree character.
In the first movie, nonetheless.
Okay,
now, admittedly, he did have a backup. He had a fail-safe that, we're going to have his son's going to be around. It'll be
The
fine.
existence of the Guardians of the Galaxy attractions is the one reason why I don't know if Disney would allow him to do it.
Well, remember, though, that attraction is set between, scene 2 and Infinity War.
No, I get that, but still, it'd be a bit weird to have like the Rocket animatronic and the kids be like, "Oh, he's dead now."
Yeah, he's dead now, but we're in the past. This is
Okay,
happy
okay,
times.
all right.
All right. Another space jump.
Yep. I always love the logistics of space travel and Guardians of the Galaxy with like.
Oh, I
having
know
all
how
these
it fucks up your face. Yeah, yeah.
Well, honestly, just the fact you have to do jumps that go from these far points in the galaxy. I like that idea. I still want that to be tied into the Fantastic Four personally. If it were me in charge of the Fantastic Four, I'd say they basically tried doing that on without having the access to the sci-fi technology the Guardians do, and that's what caused them to mutate into the Fantastic Four.
So yeah, a lot of this like pink kind of like brainy sort of vibe, like throughout the trailer, I think.
Almost looks kind of meaty.
Uh-huh.
Like, and what's this like dark little spire in the back?
It looks like nose hair.
Okay.
No, I'm saying like for them, but like when we think about Osmosis Jones, when like we have like the fake eyelashes and stuff like. Fine, from it seems like on a very big creature of some kind. This is like a follicle of hair somehow.
Oh, interesting.
They look like kind of like stiff follicles of hair that are embedded in a fleshy surface.
And we'll find out what it is. Like, what about the giant thing in the back though?
Those are ribs. It looks like rib cage things.
Yeah, but like one. like one black rib. I think I was referring to like the giant black rib in the background.
Oh, I thought you were talking about
So,
the
Dragon, do you
foreground
think
one.
this is like a Fantastic Voyage kind of situation right here?
Well, no, I think this is just body horror. I think it's James Gunn going full body horror with that spirally outside of the base for the
Okay.
High Evolution. So I think this is the outside of his base, which is like, think about this. Nowhere is the head of a Celestial. I think this is kind of like
Sure.
another giant creature that is like a body Cronenberg body horror version of that.
Makes sense. Makes
This
sense.
could be the body of a celestial.
Well, again, like other mind parts of a
I
Celestial.
mean, the
yes.
thing about it is, I kind of, I think in the back could be like its face, like a face or something.
Yeah, it's possible.
I guess I was just talking about like the giant black thing in the background.
Well,
not
you're
the-
right. I didn't. That one I just think is like it might be a discolored, just kind of version of one of these other spiny looking like spiral things.
And not to mention, it kind of does look like it almost looks like skin almost in the background. Like,
Yeah, that's a thing. It looks very
all right, to face the music.
Okay, that is like the perfect line for the Guardians. They're going to
It
face
is.
the
It is.
music.
Absolutely.
You get-
Okay,
you
so
get-
this is one of two things right here. Go on, Jacob.
and you can see like the little bionic parts on Rocket's face.
So this, I'm thinking, is the origin, like the tragic end to the origin of Rocket Raccoon, where he's saying this to Lila, who we will see later in this. We finally we bit the bullet and we're doing Lila finally with the Rocket backstory. So James Gunn's going full comics on this.
We'll all fly away together.
I love this line so much. This line feels super profound to the Rocket character. It really
Mhm.
does.
We have him tackling. We have Quill tackling somebody out of an open window. It would be defenestrative, almost defenestration. Almost.
Yeah.
One last time. Oh, there's that. Oh, love the shot of all of them celebrating.
Mm-hmm.
It's the high
Do we know who
evolution.
this is?
Yeah, that's the High Evolutionary Tiki.
Okay.
Okay. Remember from? Oh, right. Sorry, I keep forgetting you didn't see Peacemaker. So that's
And it's like, oh, we all fly away together.
So yeah, Rocket's saying this
One-
is either most likely right after he, he's turned into Rocket Raccoon. He's probably tried to break out with his girlfriend, or this is like him possibly about to die, or at least on the precipice of potentially dying.
I gotta tell you, I hope he's saying it's the Guardians.
One last time into the forever.
Now again, this is a horrifying. This makes me think that the shot we just saw, the
Beautiful.
horrifying shot.
And beautiful sky.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to. I was just trying to say the whole line, but you guys kept going into it.
Sorry.
Celebratory nebula, high evolutionary, whatever that is.
Blood. Okay. So this thing right here, this is one of two things happening. This is either Quill being tortured, or most likely, I'm thinking this is Quill seeing some unspeakably horrible happening to Rocket Raccoon.
Neither one, neither one's likely.
Yeah. Hence that bloody, icky scalpel bit we just saw. Like, oh god, what is he doing to that poor raccoon? James Gunn, you monster! And there's Lila. So she's built into the Rocket Raccoon origin. That
This is an otter, right?
Yeah, an otter. Yeah, a space
Okay.
otter.
Okay.
And she was mentioned as an Easter egg in the first movie.
And she is in the I don't know if she's in both, Jake. You have to tell me if she's in the other one, but she is in the Telltale Guardians of the Galaxy game. Like we do Rocket's full backstory, which includes this whole little section here.
And she is in that, but I think she might be mentioned in the Square Enix game, but I had to replay it to make sure. I mean, she might be mentioned, but I don't think she makes a physical appearance.
Okay.
And beautiful sky. That looks like
this is from the Sovereign section of the first Guardians movie. These are the power battery eaters.
the second.
I
movie.
noticed that. Yeah.
It's the second movie, Dragon.
What did I say?
First
You
movie.
said the first one.
No, sorry. Well, I guess I meant the beginning of the second movie, but yes, you're right.
Oh, there he is.
Tiki, who is it? Who is it?
Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock. Look
Attaboy.
who it is. It's Adam Warlock.
There
Look
you
at-
go.
Look at him go.
Yeah. He said his line. All right.
I mean, fucking finally, dude. It's about time
yeah.
this guy.
And now we know we can. And now we know we can act, thanks to thanks to Dopesick.
Yes. Well, I knew Poulter could act before Dopesick.
But now we all know we can act.
I think that's him again.
Yep. For a moment, looks like Thor, but no, it is as Adam Warlock.
I mean,
And
Adam Warlock in some ways is kind of Space Thor-esque in some ways.
Well, in this universe, Thor is Space Thor.
Well, he's kind of like Thor meets Vision in a sense. He's
That's what I'm
Adam
saying.
Warlock,
Yeah.
Adam Warlock is kind of like a space Vision to a degree.
Yeah, that's more. I guess Thor came from space. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he's a space Viking. Yeah.
That's it. And apparently he fights Nebula. For some
Yes,
reason.
which that's a whole thing from the Infinity Gauntlet as well. Like he having a whole like rivalry with Nebula, so kind of aping a little bit of that here.
And of course, something's going on with Mantis.
Yeah, well, again, she can
What
feel
the
emotions.
hair?
Well, I imagine. Wait, you like the hair?
No, I'm just saying, what's up with it?
Oh well, I think what's
It looks like it's just the way it's lit.
yeah, it's the
Looks like
lighting.
Gray.
No, it's the lighting. I think
Okay,
what's
yeah,
happening
it's
here
the
is
lighting. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry, my bad.
being the empath that she is. I'm sure she's like touching Rocket or something, and she is like not happy with those
Oh
emotions.
God, yeah.
Well, and here we see all the Guardians united again.
Yep, together again.
Wait, I don't. I go back a bit. Let's see. Obviously, Quill, Drax, Rocket, Gamora's all the way in the background.
Mhm.
Groot,
Yep, college group.
Nebula, Mantis, and something crawling in between them.
That wait, where's Cosmo? Is that Cosmo?
No, that's not. No, that's not Cosmo.
It might just be a background thing. I don't know if that's necessarily anyone.
I think it might just be like a random creature or something.
Yeah, it might be a random creature.
Yeah, but it's definitely not Cosmo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me wonder how big of a role Cosmo is going to have.
Well, I think Cosmo is probably just going to run nowhere. So Cosmo's probably just going to be stationary at nowhere.
That
Maybe if
makes
at
sense.
most, maybe on the ship. Maybe.
and that was something that was in the actual game, in the new Guardians game where Cosmo did run that. So that might be something they're pulling from the comics too.
Okay.
And of course, here's Rocket again, looking sad,
Yep.
with Groot going, "We are Groot."
But not just that. We are Groot as he's doing like the multi-gun sort of
Oh
thing.
my
here.
God, this is freaking badass, man! It really is. It's
Yeah.
So cool.
Eat your heart out, Men in Black.
I mean, that guy looks like he took a bit from his like abdomen, though.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, that's why he has so many arms.
I mean, like I said, just kind of looks like it reduced a bit of his body plating.
And that's why he's beefier, kid, so he can do stuff like that. See, that's you know what they call that?
What?
Getting some guns.
uh,
See, that's why they made him buff, so he can have guns to do this because he's homaging his papa, his Papa Rocket.
And this is gonna be like a desktop background.
Yeah.
At least I like to think so. Anyway,
a lot of the images in this trailer could be desktop backgrounds.
Like this one, for example.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Be a nice desktop. Then, of course, okay, I love this gag so much. I think they've
And again, it's one of those things where it's like this type of humor we have seen time and time again with Drax, and yet for some reason it just keeps getting laughs. Like Batista has just nailed the delivery with this character.
It's like, we'll kill anyone who gets in our way.
I feel like in any other franchise, this character would get damn old by the third entry. I really do. I give Gunn and Batista a lot of credit for just not making it feel stale.
It's like, no, not kill anyone. Kill a few people.
no people.
Kill no people. Kill one guy. One
Stupid guy. No one loves.
I just think it's sad.
Okay, so this is my ever since the
Reagan,
beginning.
it's like Drax developing a Harry's code.
I've always loved from the beginning Star-Lord and Drax's dynamic with this sort of banter. So this is just hilarious. You know, it's the whole like him trying to explain semantics to Drax and Drax just not getting. It's like the battery gag in Guardians 2. You know, it's the whole I'm trying to remember the wrong things. They're Annulax batteries. I'm trying to remember what Drax said. He said
because he's like arbulary batteries.
yeah, there you go, harbulary batteries. Like
And-
no,
Because
not at all.
That's not even close to what I just said. Another one's like, "Oh, Rocket stole your batteries, dude." It's like, sorry, he didn't steal your batteries. What a mystery this is.
Okay. Well, we're gonna be here all day. We're talking how cool Drax lines are.
Okay,
yeah.
Koski poses this question. Do you think the version of Groot is more experienced in action because he was technically part of the world since he was a baby?
Well, it's possible.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Because I mean, while he's dancing to Mr. Blue, we see a whole bunch of action going on around him. So he's possibly this baby has learned from his environment.
Nature versus nurture.
But of course, nature versus nurture when you're
And
a
of course,
tree.
the original Groot was much more of like a pacifist. So.
Yeah, he was all flowers and just muscle. Like,
Right,
not even
right.
like aggressive muscle, just like. Well, then again, Groot, while not aggressive in this act, he did impale a whole bunch of guys and like Hulk smash them around.
He's like, I still love that like goofy grin he gives after.
Yeah, it's delightful. He's
like-
giving little flowers like Frankenstein style to little children, and he's like impaling like 3 guys and tossing them around the room, breaking every bone in their bodies.
And he's like, "Did I do good?"
Groot, cookie? No, you don't get a cookie. It's violent.
All right, Koski says Drax is going to be like Dexter, but instead of only killing other killers, he only kills people he thinks are just kind of dumb.
I mean, where would he draw the line though? It's like
Dragon, you know what he does? Just do the cruise ship thing, like Bill Burr. Have you heard that Bill Burr bit, Dragon?
The cruise ship, it's a little specific to you.
Like how to control the human population? Fucking bomb a cruise ship. You haven't heard that routine?
I don't. I mean,
I'm sure it's part of one of his specials.
Well, I'm sure it is.
I don't know if it's Burr or anything, but the only cruise ship comedy that I'm familiar with is like the ones like where he's like going to like where someone's like going on a party on a boat. Like, you want to go party on a boat? Fuck yeah! Like he was partying with Dr. Phil or something. I don't know if that was Bill Burr or someone else, but
probably not.
Sorry.
All right, I think that's about it, guys. We can pretty much sign off.
All right.
Yeah. So overall, I think we got 2 pretty solid trailers here.
Yeah, indeed. I like the fact that Guardians kind of gives us a bigger kind of broad spectrum feel for the movie, whereas Indy's definitely more of a teaser. Good kind of variety there with the styles of trailers. We'll see how it goes. Guardians 4, Koski, or I'm sorry, not Koski. 1 second. I mean, Bill Burr's Kanye West routine that's very true. It has aged very well. Movie guy says it's great that James Gunn is directing this film. He's one of the few reasons why I'm still watching Marvel movies. I'm not going to be like too negative about Phase 4, but I think we can all agree Phase 4 a little disjointed, a little disconnected.
Phase 4 was the experimental phase, and we saw
it was always going to be an uphill battle with the whole like how the hell do you follow up Endgame?
Exactly, and again, it's more about like
we could call it the awkward phase.
Totally.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, I definitely think that with this in the midst of Phase 5, I'm hoping that Phase 5 is going to be, a kind of a bump up. I think if they learn one thing from Phase 4 that I really hope they take to heart, it's to do more one-shots or special presentations, because, man, those really paid off for them towards the end of Phase 4.
And there's one last thing we need to do before we conclude these breakdowns. Ice cream.
Yes.
You know what would cheer Indiana Jones up?
A good old fashioned vanilla ice cream cone.
It'd have to be.
Well, I was thinking, what if he took his god?
Yeah.
What if he took his goddaughter out for ice cream?
Oh my god.
It's like,
wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that just be like, just
now this is an adventure.
See, isn't this nice? People aren't shooting at you. There's no need to use the whip or crack the whip or anything. It's just, we just get some ice cream. Wouldn't that be nice? For a change.
The whole movie is literally just Indy, the goddaughter, and Sala just reminiscing about old times.
Then Short Round's in the corner looking said, "I wanted ice cream."
Oh my god.
Dr. Jones, where's my ice cream?
Oh my god. All right.
Shorty, come here. Let's get this boy some ice cream. Come on. You're still wearing the hat.
Then Matt
I'm so
comes
happy
and
you're
Indy,
still wearing the hat.
Mac tries to come over, and he's like, "No, Mac, we don't want you."
Just slaps like, get out of here, man! Get out of here!
But
I don't care if you were
I thought
abducted by
I thought I did a rather solid job, mate.
I don't
No.
care if yeah.
Oh god.
I don't care if the aliens abducted you and brought you back. Get out of here!
Oh Jesus.
Would Mutt Williams be the guy in the equation that they kind of like be obliged to invite, but they don't really want him there?
No, Mutt Williams is serving the ice cream, Tiki.
Oh, there you go. All right, that makes sense.
But not gleefully.
He's even got like the Scoops Ahoy style like outfit and everything.
But he's very jealous of the goddaughter. He's like, well, why does she get ice cream? I have to serve the ice cream.
It's like,
What did I do wrong? I held the hat for a moment. I could have put it on.
Oh my god!
You know?
That's mine, kid.
I
All
made
right,
the
guys,
crazy-
we can keep going with this stupid SNL bit.
Why did I make the Crazy Tank movie?
Oh god.
All right.
Okay, so let's run down big thanks to Z and K, Super Billy, Kotsky, Atomic Beast, and Movie Guy. Y'all rock. Thanks so much. We are very close to 1,100 subscribers, actually. We're just 20 subscribers away from that. I know it's not like a huge milestone, but, you know, it's good to see that the sub count keeps going up. We just hit 1,080. So thank you all, guys. Thank you all so much for the support.
And we
Y'all
got
rock.
we had a lively comment section this time.
We did, yeah. And have a good night. See y'all later.
Adam Warlock likes ice cream too.
I miss the ocean. I'm sorry. I miss the desert. I miss the sea. I love adventure.